here is interested in knowing the bigger picture and the essence of how one really becomes financially free and successful? If that's you, you're interested in that, let me know. Okay, cool. You really wants to know what is the difference that makes the difference, so that this game that you got involved in, and it is a game, how you got involved in is what is the secret of the secrets that really enables you to win this game a lot easier than you're actually making it for yourself. Because if you're interested in those, you are. Oh, I've got yes. You've written okay, excellent. Okay, because if that's you, you want to know how to do this and make this a lot easier. You want to know how do people come to? How is it some people come to this game and they win, and some others come to this game and somehow they can't seem to get it together. You want to know what is the difference that makes the difference, and you're trading or investing because you want to become financially independent, and I'm assuming that's you. But yet somehow it's taking you longer than you thought it would, then this presentation's for you. If you're wondering why you're not financially free or rich yet, then it's for you. If you've been trading and investing for years, you've read all the books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and all these thousands of books about trading and investing. I don't want to say any of the books, right? And then you're wondering, even though I love Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I think it's a brilliant book and it did wonders for me. I think I learned more from that book than I did my 4-year degree at university. If you're new to this game, I'm going to say congratulations, well done, because you're going to have an advantage over most of the other people in this room. Do you know why? Because you haven't had it filled in your mind a load of rubbish. So if you're new to this game and you want to avoid wasting years of your life throwing good money down the toilet, then this presentation is for you. So in this session, I'm going to show you a mother that went from, and many of you heard me talk about this person, and she's recently got in contact with me again because she needed some help with something because she's transformed again. This particular person that went from nearly living in a trailer park with hundreds of thousands in debt to being a leader in the Fortune 500, and the other day was showing me how she was making 15, in fact it was more than that, it was greater than 15, but it was like 20-25% in their account per month in their trading, from what I've shown her here. I'm going to show you about how a divorced father went from a financial disaster to a financial wizard with savings, investments, eliminated his debts by learning how to asset allocate. I'm going to show you how husband and wife team took the profit from every profitable trade and just then said, I'm going to take every profitable trade and pour them into income generating assets and make for them $10,000 per month, and they never have to work again. I'm going to show you how a father of two changed how he thought and his approach about making money consistently, became consistently profitable, making $8,000 to $20,000 per month. And I'm going to show you a client that went from blowing his account up every year to consistently growing his wealth and buying income generating assets. And 4 of those 5 people are actually in this room right now. So let's get on with this. You see, here's the thing. Most people come to financial trading investing not because they love. Now understand, you've seen some of these slides before, some of you have been with me before, but however, I'm tying it all together for you, okay? If you're new, brilliant. If you've seen some of this before, brilliant. There's something for everybody, okay? Understand this. And remember, repetition is the mother which will drive this home. And sometimes, if as you change as a person, as this information, you apply it, please just remember this. Information will not change your life. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Oh, you like that, do you? Brilliant. Information will not change your life. Applying it will. As I said to people today, you are not here to gather information. You are here to act, and you are here to make a powerful impact, not only on your life, but your family's life, or maybe your community, or maybe your city, or maybe your nation, or maybe the world. It's up to you how far you want to influence people. But acquiring knowledge for the sake of knowledge will make no difference. Erase the thought, information is power, action is. And I want you to act by the end of this seminar upon what you hear, what you see, what you decide, okay? Now, understand, people come to this game because they want an income to pay for their lifestyle. That is why most people get involved in this whole game. They start thinking about, oh, I've had some more money, I could have some time freedom, or I can have some more time with my family, or I could have financial freedom. And they're driven to this, not out of inspiration. And the reason is because very few people have the mindset set for building wealth. Most people come to this game out of fear. Fear. And these are like healthcare, rising living costs, running out of money as you get older, rising debt, job insecurity, no savings, or your retirement fund not performing. So they're marketed to by the marketers out there. And they say to them, hey, do you know what? You could just trade for 1 hour per day and be financially free. And people see this. And if it keeps coming at you, the same message, eventually you're going to buy it. Today, I nearly bought something. I don't want to say the brand, okay? Now, Will, it's called NutriBullet. I don't know if you've seen it. You put your vegetables in, you put a little bit of water, you spin it around, you make this healthy drink. Now, I've got several devices that are already like this, and I'm into going to the gym, weight training, bodybuilding, and I started thinking, do you know what? That could actually change my life. I nearly bought it until my wife told me off. Right? Oh, you've got one Ninja, have you? A Ninja Bullet. Right? I nearly bought the thing. And my wife's going, but you've already got something like this. Why do you need that? That is how the financial, many of the financial educators get to you. You're constantly seeing the same message. Yeah, you're not liking your job, are you? Well, do you know what? Here's what you could do. You can give it up work for 1 hour per day and you can be financially free. But many of you have discovered the reality of that. So here's what happens. People think, you know what? Yeah, just give me the magic money-making system and all my financial challenges will be solved. But understand, if you get involved in this game because of all of this stuff, I want time freedom, money-making freedom, I want all these things like this, guess what happens? It's going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done before in your life if you get involved for that. If you come to there for that, you've come with the wrong mindset and the wrong reason to do it. I'm not saying you cannot have those things. I'm saying you've come with the wrong mindset before you've even started, and the probabilities of winning are so far against you, it's unbelievable, right? Because how rich people come into this game and they win, and how poor middle class people come to this game is completely different. And that's what I want you to take from this seminar and more. Understand, if you've come from that, the poor or middle class background, here's what happens. 97% of you are going to end up losing money, even though you've got a proven money-making system. So here is what the average poor, middle class, and non-wealthy person does. They go to school, and they're told by teachers, parents, and peers the secret to life is to get good grades at school. Get a good high-paying job, get benefits, and everything's going to be all right for you. That's what they're told. So they go to work, they get this job, they start the job, and then they realise, hold on a second, I can't stand this. I hate this. I don't like this. And then they see programs like the Kardashians, and they see lifestyle of the rich and the famous, and they see this lifestyle and they start comparing themselves to their lifestyle, to that lifestyle. And they realize this lifestyle not going to get me there. And then they're marketed to. And then they think, right, okay, I'm going to trade and invest and get out of this situation. And they think, right, I've got this new money-making system. And they realise, hold on, they start doing the trading and they're struggling with this. It's a bit harder than they thought. So I think I need to learn how to do this correctly and become consistently profitable. So they're constantly going, you go, what do you want? And they go, I want to be consistently profitable. You go, what do you want? You go, I want to be consistently profitable. I want to be able to do this consistently, right? I don't know why I can't get myself to do this. I don't know what's wrong with me. And they start thinking, it's my psychology. It's my psychology I need to work on, right? Sounds familiar to you so far? That's by the way, where 97% of people give up. They end up going back to the job, or they hate it, or they start trying to go, I'm going to do multi-level marketing. And they go, that didn't work for me. I'm going to try this system. Now, the few people that get past that point, they start thinking, hold on a second, I'm swapping time for money. What I need to do is get my money making me money. I need to create a passive income so that money is working for me rather than me working for money. That's when people start to get smart. Now, you might say, yeah, but I already know that. Listen to me. If you're not doing that, you don't know that. You're familiar with that. Okay? Then people discover that they need to learn about money management and asset allocation. Right? And finally, they come to learn the mindset to do all of this. They finally come and learn the mindset to do all of this really, really well. Right? And then they think, right, I'm going to learn the mindset to do this exceptionally well. Become financially independent. What is the mindset for this? Because once you start hanging out with other really successful financial people, they'll start discovering that, like people like Donald Trump spends 4 hours a day working on his psychology. Or someone I know talks about how he lives on a cruise ship with 15 billionaires, and they all constantly work on themselves and improve their mind so they can see and act upon money-making situations. And then start thinking about setting up generational wealth and having a family cause beyond themselves. So money from generation to generation to generation, and start thinking about, this is the mindset that I need in order to do this entire thing, right? So what I'm saying to you is this. Then you get the people that actually have done that, and guess what happens? They have children, those people that have that. If they've got kids, guess what they say to the kids? Right, kids, don't do it how I did it, because that's actually the wrong way round. You've actually got to do it in inverse order so that you can achieve this and be incredibly successful at it. Do you understand? That is why you're struggling. You're going the wrong way. You need a sign that says stop, turn around, and go the opposite direction to what you think it's going to take. It's going to take you harder to get there, right? This is why it's taking you 10 times longer. So look, if you're focusing on what the crowd, i.e. the masses, the 97% are focusing on, you're going to get the same results of them. Do not expect to do the same thing as what everybody else is doing and get the exact same results. It doesn't work that way. Okay? It doesn't work that way. It's like what I tell people on Sunday Insiders. We look at certain time frames, what the majority are not looking at, because that is where the easy money is. But people are trying to trade the hardest way possible. They start thinking, how come I'm not consistently profitable? Well, that's what most people are looking at. Don't do what the majority are doing. You're going to end up losing money. You have to look at this completely opposite way. And I say to them, look, let me tell you something now. If you knew somebody that looked like you, acted like you, behaved like you, was like you in every single way, that to the degree that you could go away for 2 years and come back and everybody thought it was you, would you leave that person with your money? Let me ask you this. Would you leave them your money to trade and invest it? Because here is the thing. You're giving it to that person now, called you, okay? And if you want to know if you're hardwired the wrong way round, if you're going to be financially free or not, this is simple. Simply look at your trading account right now. Look at your account right now. Is there equity curve? I hope you measure your equity curve. You're probably not. Chances are you're probably not measuring it and plotting it. But we'll sort that out by changing how you look at this whole thing. Is your equity curve going up, sideways, or down? Are you experiencing inconsistent or consistent results in trading and investing? Is taking all your trades easy or hard for you? Do you stick with one strategy? You're swapping around, you cut your losses, let your profits run, or do you do the opposite? Are you disciplined, or do you let your emotions take charge of your trading and investing? So, I want you to stay tuned, because you're going to find out in this session today. There's a lot of information, right? What the solution is for you. Because if you're interested in that, then this is for you. Now, some of you are new, said you're new to me. This is the first thing you've attended, so let me give you the quick example. So, look, I grew up poor, no money, nothing, loads of children in the house, went to school, told I was stupid, I looked stupid, I probably was stupid. My dad in the 1980s bought some stocks and shares, made money in it because the government was privatizing absolutely everything, and I thought, oh, you've just made money. How did you do that? Right? So, but understand, zero money in my house, and I couldn't make any money, even though my dad actually made some money. Now, here's the deal. As a child, thinking I was stupid, looking stupid, acting stupid, right? Here's what actually happened. I decided to buy this course because I thought it would improve my mind because I felt so stupid. And I had exams, and I hated them, right? And this course promised me that I'd be able to read, remember absolutely anything. And I bought this course, and it was absolutely amazing, and it worked. I could do some of the most amazing feats. People used to give me 5 packets of cards, put a football player, a soccer player on every single card, shuffle the packs, and then say what was in pack number 3, card number 7. And I tell them the card, and I tell them the player, and stuff like this, and all sorts of bizarre feats like that. Not that that comes really useful, but it came in handy when I had to revise for my exams, and I could read a book 2 nights before the exam and remember every single page verbatim. So it was powerful. But what was great about this course wasn't just the ability to pass exams really simply and easily, because I could remember stuff, was they sent me some powerful information afterwards. You've heard me say this before about laws of success, Think and Grow Rich, the master key, and all these things like this. And this got me obsessed with learning about the psychology and principles of building wealth and what was the difference that made the difference. And I read all this stuff and thought, how does one become successful in life and have freedom and choice? And as a result of applying what I learned, here's what happened. I then went and got a degree in finance. Funny enough, I'm now teaching on the master's course in finance at the university. Ha ha ha. Teacher who said I looked stupid, sounded stupid, and probably was stupid. Right? Set up an entertainment business, became a network television presenter, started teaching one of the global leaders in the psychology of finance, became one of the most eligible bachelors in the UK, financially free, and set up this business teaching other people how to do the same things that I do now. And the interesting thing was, I taught this to people. People said to me, how did you make that money? Show me how you made it. And I said, simple, just focus on the mind, set first and have frame set, and then you'll be able to make the money. But they were like, no, Patrick, I don't have time for that. Can you just show me the money making opportunities? And when I show them, and even today, I've shown people money. I said, there's a trade, there's a trade, there's a trade, there's a trade. And they still can't get themselves to do it. Why? Because they don't think like that. So I'm going to tell you this. This course is not, what I'm going to say to you is not just about psychology, but I will say this to you. If I can do this looking stupid, sounding stupid, being stupid, I am convinced that you can do this because you've got many more advantages than I have. Okay? Now, understand. Here is what the average 1%, the 1% of financially independent people in the world do. Do you know in some places it's actually like 0.1 in some places to 1, sometimes at extremes in the environment, right? It'd be 3%, but generally it's 1% of people are financially free. Everybody else is working or financially struggling. Here's what they do. The wealthy people teach their children the mindset and the principles to grow wealth first. Right? They give it a framework, a context for everything else to fit in. If you don't have that mindset, this is why when you probably went to school, you were told and you were given this context of how life operates. You go to school, you get good grades, you get a job, you find a partner, you get married, you buy a house, you get a mortgage and stuff like that. Right, you were taught that. That's how most people are taught. They're taught that mindset, and that is the framework for their life. And then suddenly they're trying to go against this mindset. And they're struggling because it's going against their beliefs and the framework, their world, their reality. Does that make sense? You're playing in a map. You're looking at a map, right, with a frame of mind, reference of what you've been told, and that's all you're able to see. And if you try and do something else, your brain's not able to see it because the framework that people have been told is go to school, get good grades, get good this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And then they start going, I'm going to try and trade and invest. And it's going against your own map. Whereas if you were told this other map, this is the mindset really to grow wealth and become financially free, and this is what life is really about, you won't see the same map that 99% of people look at. Oh, don't worry, Tracy, we'll be giving you many examples of what's taught, okay? Right? Then they teach them how to manage money. Then they teach them how to manage money. Then they teach them passive income strategies. Then they teach them how to be consistent. And then they finally teach them this is a money-making system. Now remember, and I've said this before, when Jean-Paul Getty was the wealthiest man on earth, prior to his death, you know what he said? To become a millionaire, you have to think like a millionaire. But understand, the average person, the 99% person, is not thinking about thinking. They're thinking about wanting to have. And what do they want to have? Lifestyle. And they say, I want to have this particular lifestyle. So that means that means if I want to have this lifestyle, I've got to get money. In order to get this money, to have the lifestyle I desire, I'm going to trade. And then that's where their problems occur. Because they don't really want to trade, they want the money. But they don't want the money, what they really want is just the lifestyle. Now they come to trading, and now they've realized they don't actually value the things that it takes in order to trade really well. Psychology, the business planning, the systems, right? And all the other elements of that. So now they're going, wait a minute, you're telling me for me to get this lifestyle, I've got to go and study trading, investing, systems, passive income instruments. I've got to write a plan. I've got to execute my trades. I've got to do all these things in order to get the money, in order to buy the lifestyle. I haven't got time for that. I've got to live a life. But yet, the framework that these people were given set them up so that they couldn't wait to do those things, because the goal wasn't the lifestyle of what celebrities that they've seen on television. No. That's what most people are doing. They're comparing themselves to that. Whatever you're comparing yourself to, the peer group that you hang out with is determining what you are focusing on. So the 5 steps to creating financial success in your life and generating and creating a financial legacy for the next generation in your family, right? And maybe your family's family, or if you're interested in future generations, is first, you're going to have to learn and teach your family the mindset to grow wealth. Then you're going to have to learn to manage money, then learn passive income strategies, then learn how to be consistently profitable, then learn to make money, learn a system that makes you money, right? Okay, so number 1, okay, and this is the key thing, and this is why I bang on about this more than anything. Learn and teach your family the mindset to grow wealth. I haven't made this up. Understand what I do is I'm a modeler. I model how people get results. I go and seek people who are doing it, and they go and ask them, how have you done this? And they go work out what is the strategy that they're doing it. Then they go, I'd learn it, do it, apply it, and then go tell everybody else. Step 1, learn and teach your family the mindset to grow wealth. Let me ask you this simple question, okay? Imagine this was the very first thing your parents ever gave you, okay? This is what I bought my boys, my very young children, right? Imagine they insisted that you did this with every penny you received and made sure you allocated your money this way and never spent more than what was in the pot. So you got this piggy bank, right? And it said, you can buy this, by the way, all right? Go on Amazon and buy this. Save, spend, donate, invest. Now, I bought a different one. It's exactly like this, same company, but in Europe, you can buy it, you can change where the order, because I didn't want it that way. Do you know what I wanted it to say? Save, invest, spend, donate. I didn't want invest at the back. I wanted my boys to go, listen, what do you do? Now, if some of you have heard my little boys say this, and I say, son, what do you do? One's 3, one's 5, and this is what they have in their mind. Son, what do you do when I give you this money? Oh, you got to save first, Dad. Then you got to invest to grow the money. Then you can spend it on sweets, and then you got to buy presents to help people, right? And then I was in the shop the other day, and you know what my little 5-year-old said to me? Oh, Daddy, you're spending money. Did you invest and save first? And I thought, brilliant, right? Imagine that's what you were taught in your head as a child, right? Do you think you would have different thoughts? Do you believe you would have different feelings? Are you convinced you'd have different behaviors now? Do you think you'd have different results and an attitude towards money, saving, investing, donating and spending? How much further ahead do you believe you would be today if that was taught to you as a child? Right? So, understand. There's 3 things. So this is section 1 of those 5 points, right? There's 3 mindset elements: your standards, your values, and your beliefs. Your beliefs about your identity, your beliefs about money, trading, rich people, what's financially possible, what you financially believe you deserve, what you believe you're financially capable of. So remember, in the words of Warren Buffett, don't expect to be able to manage money unless you can manage your mind and your emotions, okay? I'll sum it up for you, so we won't have time to read that. Now, if you don't have these things in place, you will end up doing what they did in Tibet, which is taking money, giving it to you, no matter how much everyone's got, and then it vanishes, and it goes back to where it started. The people that end up the money have the highest standards on wealth, the highest value on wealth, and the right beliefs about wealth. The people that don't have those things end up giving it away, which is why in the world, that is the population of millionaires in the world, no matter what time in history this has ever been. So let's get to point 1, standards. Listen, you know what standards are? Standards are what you will not tolerate less than. Understand this. Who you hang out with is who you will become. If you hang out with other financial traders and investors who are trying to succeed at this game and who are not, you will stay at that level. Many of you are in communities and groups, and people are talking to you about trading and investing. You're talking to your friends about trading and investing, and you say, I'm reading this book. What are you reading? I'm reading this book. You will stay at the same level that you are at. You need to seek groups of achievers in order to succeed. Do you know if you put 2 crabs in a bucket, right, and one of them tries to come out, one will pull him back in. Your friends will pull you back in. Why? Because unconsciously you have a fear of losing you. You will either start arguing, why are you spending so much time doing that? What's wrong with you? You don't have to do that. You've changed. They will fear losing you. Your family will fear, because your values and your mindset will want to hold on to you out of love and connection and out of fear of losing you. So we have this crab in a basket syndrome, right? Two crabs. Now understand this. Let's think about this. And I did a video about this. And if you go on the website, you'll see the video about this, about your body. Look, your body is a reflection of the peer group that you hang out with reference to body and the other elements we're going to talk about here. But one of the key things is this. If you are hanging out with and associating with people who only demand that they could only look like this people on the right, let me tell you this right now, you will end up looking like these people on the right. Whereas some people, like the people on the left, will go, oh, I'm telling you now, some protein, it's like steroids, you shouldn't be touching it. Trust me, don't touch it. Why are you doing all that exercise all the time? You don't need to be doing that. Your group that you hang out with will determine your financial success or your financial failure. Many of you are saying, I only hang out with my family. Well, if your family's not financially successful, they will pull you down. If you do what it takes to be financially successful, they'll start going, why are you spending less time with us? They're not doing it out of hate. They're doing it out of love, out of fear of you leaving them. And they're thinking that they're going to lose you. Unconsciously, that's how people are designed, right? So who you're hanging out with is who you're going to become. Let me give you an example of this. The standard of the group, of the person. If someone has a massive influence on you, they can change your standard. A friend of mine went out with some lovely girl. First time he allowed her into his apartment, she saw it and said to you, listen, you know, if you don't clean this up, I'm leaving you. But you know what? Suddenly his standard, what she expected of him, massively transformed his apartment within a matter of days. Telling me he's going to do it, hasn't done it. She says, if you don't clean this up, it didn't matter what I said to him. She mattered to him. He's influenced by women, right? More so than a guy. She changed what his standard was. Her expectation on him was greater than his own, so it transformed him. And so it is with wealth. Seek out financial achievement groups. Listen. Why you need to join a group of achievers and aspire to be an achievement group, because if the current peer group who you're hanging out with right now for building wealth was the right one, if you were hanging out with the right people reference to building wealth, you would already have the wealth that you truly desired. You need to seek the groups of people, find communities, do you know what? One of the easiest groups for people to find is, if you're going to do it, is property investment groups. They're easy somehow. Don't ask me why, but they exist absolutely everywhere. But finding the right group of financial traders and investors who are doing exceptionally well is one of the hardest things. Why? Because most of them are really secretive. And also because 97% of them are actually losing money, and those ones readily make themselves available. Okay, and then people go and join these groups, and then they listen to what they're saying, and then they hear their chat. And unfortunately, it's like the example which I give, and I say this with absolute respect, regardless of your weight. It doesn't matter. This is just an example. I'm sure you can appreciate the benefit from this, where I say if two fat people hang out with each other, talk about losing weight, and one says, I lost 2 pounds in weight, they will remain fat, especially if one goes, how did you do it? Right? They'll remain that way. And many of you are hanging out in groups and communities where the people are saying, oh, I read this book about this, and they're not profitable, and they're sharing with you rubbish, right? They're going, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that. I don't want to say any techniques, okay? But they're saying, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that. I read this, I read that. Da, da, da. And you go, are you consistently profitable? Are you making money? Have you ever made money? Have you made money consistently for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever, right? And I go, no. I'm going, well, what does it really matter? But if you're listening to them and you care what they think about you, that is your group. Seek groups of achievers. Let me give you an example of this, right? Listen, as I say, your current results are a direct reflection of the expectation of the peer group that you identify yourself with. Listen. So I become a television presenter, presented on the television, and then become some eligible bachelor. Let me tell you here with one of the key secrets to me doing this. I had a girlfriend, and her uncle was one of the most famous television presenters in the UK. Okay? And she wants to become a television presenter. Her cousin is a television presenter. Round my house was the guy across the hallway was, when I was a student, wanted to be a television presenter. And his friend, that girl, she's a famous television presenter in the UK. Surrounded by them, several people came to my house. Several famous comedians in the UK. You've probably seen them in the US now. Wanted to be presenters and comedians. Surprise, surprise, surprise! I end up on the television. Why? Because I hung out with people who wanted to do that. Does that make sense? And who were succeeding at it. And I had people come round who were succeeding at that. Surprise, surprise. Now, guess what? My girlfriend at the time, her cousin, is nominated in some magazine as the most eligible bachelor in one of the most eligible bachelors in the UK. I'm thinking, God, look at that. Now, she expects her partners to be in the same caliber as that, right? So that's what her expectation is. Surprise, surprise, I end up becoming one of the most eligible bachelors. Do you understand? Who you are hanging out with is determining your financial destiny, okay? If you change the group you hang out with, you change your financial life. Does that make sense to you? Let me know. Type a yes if that makes sense to you. So, and as you do that, good. Right, listen to me. Here's an example from somebody that said this to me today. Right, they said, a few months back, my wealth area of my life was completely, right? No savings, a 401k that started at $0 in March 2011, and no written plan or budget or plan of being wealthy. Since starting with your MTN group, Patrick, I bumped up my 401k contributions. I saved 23% of my monthly paycheck from work. I have a budget that I follow. And if I want something and it's not on the budget, I don't get it anymore. I've got 2 wealth building buckets. I have money in savings. My trading is better. My mindset is better. I'm getting better every day. Now that I have a growing wealth mindset, savings in place and growing additional wealth buckets, a budget, etc., I find I'm more diligent in my trading. I can follow a plan and wait for my trades, which makes me a better trader. KC. Do you understand? The group you are hanging around is going to massively influence what you do and what you get and where you're going to end up. The end of next week, next month, next quarter, half of the year 2016-17, going onwards, the next decade, right? Values. Now, this is key. This is why you can know everything in the world about stocks, options, futures, forex, etc., all of it, and still lose money. Your values are determining where you are really going to be successful in life. Where you will be successful is a direct reflection of what you truly value most in this world. Now listen, everyone says they value money, but they don't. What most people value is what they can do with the money. Money is a vehicle of exchange. You go to work, you get money, you swap your labor for money. You swap your skills, your hours, your time for money. But what you are driven to do with that money is an expression of what is truly most important to you. Some people have a value on holidays, so they swap it for holidays. Some people have a value on exercise, so they swap it for exercise. Some people value the house. Some people value the children's education, their teeth, their clothes, entertainment, drink, drugs, partying. But very few people in the world, 1% of people in the world, have a value on buying assets. It's not the money. They value buying assets and managing the money. They just love that game for the sake of loving the game. As a result of your values, it will determine what you actually see in the world. You cannot see what you do not value. I could walk down the street and you'll say to me, did you see those curtains in that shop? And I'll say, I beg your pardon, which curtains? What shop? Oh, they're on sale. Did you see them? They were gorgeous. No, I have no idea. How come you're not looking at what I'm interested in? That sounds like my conversation with my wife, by the way. Right? Okay. Your values will determine what you see. 2 people could go to the shopping mall, supermarket, shopping centre here in the UK, and will see 2 completely different things. My wife will see shoes absolutely everywhere, children's educations, children's entertainment, stuff like this. Oh, I just got a bargain. What with? I got these things for the boys. I got these costumes for the boys. I got this for the boys. I got this for the boys. I got this for the boys. Oh my God. Do you understand? Your values will determine what you see in the world. And someone that has a value on wealth building will walk down the shopping centre and start going, do you know what? If I bought this whole unit, I wonder how much I could rent each one of these places out for. Look at the computers. Look at the suits. I could wear that to that meeting. You value. So when you have a value on financial trading and investing, guess what? You see the opportunity 10 times faster and easier than everybody else. If you don't have a value on trading and investing, you will not see that opportunity. You will force yourself to see it, but it's not easy. It's not an obvious thing. And then, funny enough, you then say, how come I didn't see this when it happened at the time? I can see it now. Because you didn't value it. Do you understand? You could have a goal, but if your goals are not aligned with your values, you won't see it. Your values will determine what you find easy to do, where you're creating consistency, where you're disciplined, where you're organized, where you're focused, where you're in harmony. You'll get up, you'll have energy for it, you're driven by it, you see it in the environment, which is why when people have a high value on building wealth, guess what they see? Money making opportunities. And if you're not seeing any money making opportunities right now, I guess what? You don't have a value on making money. You're trading, but you don't have the value on the money and the trading. You're trading because you want the holidays. And I bet you, for example, if someone's got a value on holidays and they're trading because they go, oh, I just want to travel, guess what? I guarantee they see holiday opportunities all the time, but they don't see trading opportunities all the time. And when they close their eyes and they're daydreaming, they're not thinking about daydreaming about trading, they're daydreaming about holidays. Does that make sense? So look, your life is screaming at you right now what you truly value. Where are you successful in your life is a reflection of what you truly value in your life. You will always be successful. Here's where if my wife tried to trade and invest, she would not be successful. Why? I've got to do the kids' education. I've got to do the reading. I've got to do the maths. I've got to make sure they play. I've got to make sure they're happy. Does this make sense? I've got to go to the gym first. I've got to do my languages. I speak 7 languages, Patrick. You know I've got to practice my languages. She's going to be successful there first. And then you've got to do some trading and investing. The trading and investing will get in the way. They will not occupy your mind. She'll think, oh, I could do some trading to get the money to do those things. But they are not. The trading, in order for you to be successful at trading, it has to be the 5th highest value in your mind. At least a minimum in your top 5 for you to succeed at it. Building wealth, trading, investing, whatever it is you choose. If it's property building has to be high in your values. Right? Does that make sense? You're going to be successful whatever's most highest on your values. So, if you have a value on investing assets and building wealth, you're going to be successful there. If you have a value on education, you're going to be successful there. I give you money, you'll spend it there. That's why the people in Tibet took the money and spent it on what they truly value. If you're not successful on something, what you want to be successful right now, and you've heard me say this before, you still haven't transformed your values. You know the concept, you're familiar with the concept, but if you're not seeing the opportunity there, then you don't value it. Does that make sense? Somebody that values going to the gym and exercises and sports equipment, you take them down the shopping centre, do you know what they see? Look at that sports shop, look at that. They'll see it everywhere. Does that make sense? If you're not seeing money-making opportunities in charts, what you need to do is one of two things. Either A, change the goals and say, that's it, forget it, I'm giving up, I'm not doing it anymore, right? I'm just going to do what's true to my values. Or, which I would advise you to do, which is very easy, it takes a little bit of work, but it's worth it, right? It's not that much. Change your values so that you achieve your financial goals. And that is it, which is why this person who was at the edge of financial ruin looked at her values, aligned a couple of things, addressed what was truly highest on their values, and suddenly become a Fortune 500 company, second on the board and making money consistently in their trading and investing. But their trading and investing is secondary to what they truly love the most. And you know what that is? Corporate career leadership. That's what they absolutely love. Corporate leadership. Suddenly it goes from having a part-time job to what she truly loved, and then becomes incredibly successful, earns a fortune doing it, gets a massive package in a bonus, and then starts trading after that, around that, trade around what you truly value. Nicholas Darvas, made a fortune, and we'll talk about him in a minute, doing his investing around his values. Looked at the market when the market was closed and made, adjusted to inflation, $15 million in 2 years with a small sum of money. But many of you trying to trade against your values. You know what your true values are? Trade in alignment with your values and you'll be successful. Try and trade against your values and you'll fail, because your unconscious mind will say you're sabotaging what's most important to you. And it will therefore make you sabotage the trading, so that you focus on what truly matters. Because when people fail at trading, guess what they do? Oh, I'm just going to do what really matters now. I don't care about that anymore. So you work with yourself rather than against yourself, so that it becomes easier for you, right? Now, your beliefs. This man, no one's ever run a 5-minute mile, 3-minute mile before, suddenly does it. There are millions of people who can do it, right? So listen, there's a set of beliefs that people have that set them up for success or set them up for failure. So here's the deal. Poor middle class versus financially successful. Poor middle class think about money in linear terms, our work, our pay, do a trade, make some money, right? Rich, successful people think about money in non-linear terms. We'll come to more of those in a minute. Poor middle class believes hard work makes wealth. Financially successful people believe leverage creates wealth. Right? Poor people, middle class people tend to think about doing it themselves. Successful people think about getting teams of people and leveraging themselves. They leverage other people's time, other people's money, other people's resources. They use leverage to create wealth. Poor middle class think about spending money. That's what they think about. Money, go get the money, spend it, lifestyle. Rich, successful people, you know what they're thinking about? Investing. The poor middle class pleasure activities. Financially successful think about money making activities. People say, wait a minute, hold on a second. But I want to go skiing. Why? You're telling me I can't go skiing? That's stuff I can find pleasurable. And you're telling me they don't think about those things. But they go skiing, Patrick. Listen, they have a higher value first on building wealth. The skiing is a benefit of a secondary thing as a result of that. They could go, they ask questions like, how can I go skiing, get paid for it? Or how can I get paid for going skiing? Does that make sense? So how can I get paid for going skiing? Or how can I go skiing and get paid? So they wrap business around pleasure. So they're always getting paid. Where the average person is thinking about where can I get the money from to pay for that? And the rich person is thinking, how can I do that and get paid? There's a massive difference. For example, you've got things like they associate with anybody. See that? The poor middle class associate with anyone. Financially successful, they are very careful and they monitor who they associate with. Poor middle class people seek comfort. That's why I say, I just want to be comfortable. Do you know what financially successful people do? They don't seek comfort. They seek being uncomfortable in life. They seek the uncomfortable. The more you can embrace being uncomfortable, the more successful you will be. Poor middle class people play the game not to lose. Successful people play to win the game. Does that make sense? Another one of those. Let's have a look. Poor middle class people don't believe in personal development. Generally, most of them don't. Most financially successful people are like convinced it is the key to getting rich. Poor middle class people teach their children the game of the masses. Financially successful teach their children the money game and how to win the game, right? It's a different set of rules. People have got different beliefs going around their head. Here's what most people believe. Money's the root of all evil. Most rich people probably did something bad to get money. A lot of people won't like me if I'm rich. I'll get robbed if I'm rich. Rich takes hard work. Having a lot of money is big responsibility. If he gets rich, there's certain people in my life that won't like me. If I have a lot of money, it means somebody else will have less. Having excess money means you're greedy. Do you know? Here's the deal. If you're poor, generally you've got a lot of poor, bad thoughts in your head. If you're rich, you've got a lot of rich thoughts in your head. The average middle class person has a fusion of both of them, which is why they feel like they're going 2 steps forward, 2 steps backwards, 2 steps forwards, 2 steps backwards. I've got some money. I'm going to buy a house and get into debt. Does that make sense? Oh, I'm going to do some trading. I'm going to take this money, I'm going to spend it and buy a car and stuff like this. And then they go backwards. They've got a mixture of the poor thoughts and the rich person's thoughts, so they never get ahead, right? So, and if you're poor and you've come from a poor background, you've generally been taught and trained by that system and your family and the community and that peer group to stay that way. Which is why when they come to trading and investing, the thoughts and the beliefs and the values fused together will create either an equity curve like this of a financially rich, successful person that has a value and the right beliefs about trading and investing, or the boom and the buster, or the forever going down. Let me know. Are you a consistently profitable trader? Are you a boomer and buster? Or are you someone that's inconsistently profitable? Because it is a fusion of what is going around your mind that is creating the equity curve. So you need to have, there's 5 key beliefs that you need to have. You're a boomer and buster, are you? Inconsistent. There you go. Consistently inconsistent. I love it. Very good description. Consistently inconsistent. Right, okay. Yeah, 50% of the time it works 90% of the time. Now, so here's the deal. These are just an example. And if you've got that, most of you have got it. There's like 33 key beliefs. These are the 5 key beliefs. Anything can happen. You don't need to know what's going to happen next in order to make money. There's a random distribution between your winners and the loser. An edge is just an indication of a high probability of one thing can happen over another, and every moment in the market is unique. If you read that book, I highly recommend you read Mark Douglas's book, Trading in the Zone, for an explanation of each of those so you understand and embrace it. And on what I think is possibly the greatest exercise ever existed to help people to ingrain that into their head, on Patrick Stockhausen's of www.takingstock.biz, right? On his free course on ultimate trading psychology, ultimatetradingpsychology.com, part 4, I believe it is, there's a coin game. Now, if you play that coin game, it will try, and you keep playing that coin game, I'm telling you now, the people I've had email after email, conversation after conversation with people saying, do you know what? Playing that game, listening to that track of those beliefs in my head as I played the coin game, massively transformed how I thought about trading and investing, and ingrained in me this: anything can happen. I don't need to know what's going to happen to make money. There's a random distribution. An edge is just a high probability of one thing happening every moment in his market is unique, right? Someone said it sounded like a dumb game, but oh, was I wrong? It is a genius game invented by some guy's quite clever. Right, now, but was told it looked stupid, sounded stupid, probably was stupid. So, as a result, there's an example of somebody that said they had beliefs in their head about money was the root of all evil, rich people probably did something bad to make money, pursuing wealth is not godly, etc., etc. However, thank you, Patrick, for helping me realize I was created in a life of contradiction and freeing my mind to the very fact that the Bible references money in a positive light, and how I was getting in my own way of financial freedom. I am now day trading, consistently profitable, growing my wealth consistently, and a part-time preacher in my community. So they had problems. This person had problems about money in their head. And one of the things I said to them was, well, you do believe that the Bible says man cannot serve 2 masters. You can't serve God and serve money. And he says, yes. Well, I says, then you go to work, yeah? And they go, yeah. And I said, how many hours do you work for? And they said, 10. And I said, so you're going to work because you love it? And they said, no. I said, that means you're going because you serve money. Right? I said, do you serve God for 10 hours a day? No. So you're serving money more than you're serving God. Don't you think you better learn to master money rather than have money master you, so then you can serve God and have money serve you? And they were like, oh my God, that makes a lot of sense to me. So, and then they worked on their beliefs about money and stuff like that. So I had to reframe the whole experience in their head. But the whole point is, your beliefs will transform your results. And then there's your identity. I'm not telling you the story of the frog and the scorpion. Many of you heard it many times. But this is a great book by Psycho-Cybernetics talking about you have a blueprint in your head about who you are. And you will not get what you want. You only get more of who you are. Your identity is a reflection of what you're going to attract and get. If somebody says to you, I haven't smoked for 10 weeks, why are they telling you in terms of weeks? Someone that has stopped smoking will say, I'm a non-smoker. They will tell you about their identity, who they are. I am a non-smoker. I don't do that. I'm not that kind of person. They're telling you about who they are. Someone that says, I haven't smoked for 10 weeks is telling you about their behavior. Behavior and identity is not the same thing. I made money trading is not the same as I am a consistently profitable trader. So you're not going to get the consistency because you don't see yourself as consistent. Does that make sense? Right? So here's the deal. See people going, I want to have $1 million, so I'm going to trade or do my day trading or my swing trading, whatever form of trading it is, and then I will be as consistently successful trader. Doesn't work that way. You won't get it that way. You have to see yourself as that way first. It's be, do, have, not have, do, be. Who are you? Learn to change your identity. Who do you see yourself as? Write out, who am I? Who do I see myself as really? And then once you've written that out, now write down, if that was rubbish, and I'm now going to tell myself the absolute truth, who do I really see myself as? Who do I really see myself as? You'll soon discover, right? And there's this whole series of questions to ask yourself. Who do you see yourself as? The difference between difference between myself and a friend who is now finally, after 20 years, just going to work on television. I said when I was a student, I am a light entertainment TV presenter. I saw myself as that. Remember, I hung out with groups of people like that, and I saw myself as that. And I became a TV presenter within less than 1 year. My friend, equally talented, says, I'm a graphic designer, because that's what he's studying. But one day I'm going to be a TV presenter. 20 years it has nearly taken him, but yet had the same skill and the same opportunities. In fact, more opportunities, because he didn't see himself as. You probably see the same number of trading opportunities as somebody else with exactly the same system as you. But because you don't see yourself as a consistently profitable trader, your results are not reflecting that. Okay? So you have to learn how to transform that. So this is all step number 1. These aren't all going to last this long, by the way. That was the longest one. That is the foundation, the key. Your identity, your beliefs about what you think is possible, what you think you deserve, what you think you're capable, what you think is possible, and your values is the key thing, is the number 1 principle, and included in that is who you hang out with, because that will create your mindset, will get you there 1,000,000 times faster, more so than anything else, right? That's step 1. So let's go for the remaining 4 quick steps. Step 2, learn how to manage money. You need to learn how to manage money. Listen, the secret to growing rich, financially free, and making and keeping your profits is asset allocation. Most people earn money, and they go, and if they trade, they're just going to put that money into my trading account. That's a terrible mistake. That's a terrible mistake, that is, by the way, because they lose it and then they're out the game completely. You don't want to do that. No. You need to allocate certain sets of money for very specific things. Then you need to redistribute the profits. Listen, every rich person does this. They save a progressive amount of money and they pour it into separate accounts to do very specific things, right? Very specific things. Do you know, I have seen countless studies which have shown the amount of money that you should have in if you're going to do day trading or some sort of timing of the market, which is what trading is. Trading is timing, right? You're trying to time the markets. So, and you better be really good at it if you're going to do it, right? If you're going to do that, guess what? I've seen numbers between 10 to 30% maximum of your net worth in that activity. That is it. That is it. But people take the whole money and they pour it all into it. And if they lose it, they're screwed. They've had it. You need to learn how to allocate the money to separate accounts to do very specific things. To succeed at this, you must have a high... Now, to do this, what I'm talking about, goes back to the values. It's why I say you need to do the mindset first. You need to have a value on saving money and allocating it and managing money. This is what all the most successful people do. Poor middle-class people don't. You need to have a value on allocating money and going, no, I absolutely love this. Why? Because I just love doing it. I just love allocating money. If you have that, you are on the right path and you do it with the right people, you're going to win. Okay? So, your first thing you need to do is have an income source. Be that a job, be that your self-employment, be that your business. Can that be my day trading? No. Why not, Patrick? I will come to that later on, but no, and no. Okay? No. And you'll see why. Okay? Telling you the path of what. Do some people do that? Yes. How many people who are financially successful? 1% of people, right? Only 1% of those that make money. I'm telling you what, here's what works for 99% of those who are financially successful, not what works for the few. You don't want to do what works for the 1 or 2 of the million that are successful. You want to do what works for the majority. Stick with the medium of what works for those who are incredibly successful, and your odds are super successful. Does that make sense? Now, first have an income source, either you're self-employed, a business, or salary. Don't give up your job to day trade to think that's going to set you free. You're going to end up like most people if you do that. Okay? You take the money and you need to put a third into security assets, a third into cash flow, and a third into capital gains. Can you see how the mindset is the thing that's going to get you to do this consistently and love doing this? Once you've put your money in there, you need to be thinking the following types of things. There's more than these things, but I'm just giving you an outline. A third will go into insurance, your home, fixed income. So you've got like this guaranteed, but from these fixed income investments, right, you're going to get some sort of income to pay for your lifestyle, okay? You've got to have an emergency sum of money, 3 to 12 months. I heard that the average American, I think it's something like 60% of Americans cannot put together $2,000 if an emergency happened, right? You need 3 to 12 months, and then you need a 401k, or your pension and stuff like this. That's your security bucket. Here, let's class this as your investment bucket. Investing is not the same as trading. Dollar cost averaging, buying something, accumulating something, and it generating a cash flow is investing. Does this make sense? Right, now, listen to me. You have 4 types of, and I've said systems because you need to think about this in a systematic sort of way. Some sort of, you can invest in business assets, property investments, right? Rental property and things like that. Paper assets, dividends, stocks and stuff like that. You could even hedge them if you wanted to, so, and you systematically do it. Or you could be doing diagonal spreads in there. Does that make sense? You own it. It's very little thing you have to do. You just occasionally, once a week, manage these kind of things. Or commodity assets like oil and gas leases and all these things like this, right? And I'll show you some cash flow things in a minute. Now, and then you've got your capital gains from you buy a business, you break it up and you sell it. You buy a property, you do it up and you sell it. You do a trade, a swing trade, or whatever it is, sort of trade it is, or you get hold of some commodities, you get in and you get out. But that is all about timing. This is timing. This is not timing. Does that make sense? Do you get that? Let me know. So, here's an example of somebody that said, you do good, excellent. Someone that says, I got tired of dashed hopes and believing one day it would finally happen. Thanks, Patrick, for the money plan, as now I have savings, got investments, I've money to play, my lifestyle sorted, and I've got my future is going to happen. Something I can say with certainty that I could not say before. KB in England, right? This is what you need to do. But you're not going to do this and you have the values unless you have the values in place, right? Once you've got that money being allocated and you understand that whole concept, you need to learn about passive income, right? Now, here's what the average trader believes. If I could just create, this might not be you. You might be a more advanced thinker, okay? But this is what generally most people are thinking. If I could create £200 to £500 per day doing day trading, then you know what, darling, you and I would be fighting off kids and everyone. We'd be financially free. Okay, now, understand the odds. Trading is a probability numbers game, okay? Statistics have shown less than 1% of people who are doing that actually succeed at that. Most day traders would be better off working at Burger King than day trading. At least there'd be a consistency of that income. Okay? Now, how do you create financial freedom? Simple. You buy income generating assets that pay you a passive monthly / quarterly income. You buy income generating assets, not day trade. Does that make sense? That you want it so that when you're on holiday, you're getting paid. If you're whatever you're doing, you're getting paid. Money is coming in consistent. Well, can I not just day trade while I'm on holiday? No, that is not financial freedom. Because if you're in hospital because you've hurt your eyes, right, and you can't look out of your eyes for a month, you still want this income to be coming in. Does this make sense? It's not based on you. It's based on it being managed. And you don't have to manage it. Somebody else could manage it for you. Does that make sense? Otherwise, it's a job. So, let me give you some examples of things. And I've shown a couple of people these ones before. Did you know you could invest, like for example, here in some property things between £18,000 to £500,000 and stuff like this in like hotels, spas, resorts for 15, 20 years, and they'll give you 12. I've seen 17.5% per year. Now, most of you probably aren't making 17.5% on anything, not in trading or anything, right? Some of you are incredibly successful at trading. I know that. I've spoken to some of you, right? But you could be making phenomenal returns passively, hassle-free for 15 years. And so somebody else is managing. You just give a phone call and you have a little meeting. Go, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. Tell me about this. Do this. Here's what your plans are. Here's what we're doing. It's going really well. We're going to expand. Do you understand? It could be invested in this. Look, the more you have a value on this, the more you'll see them. There's a fund. You can fund lease vehicles and get over those 3 months. So that's what's that? 11% return on your money per year, or 27, depends how long it's tied up for, or the amount that you give. Okay, so you could be generating passive income. I have millions of examples of these. There are so many of these things that you can do, that you can create a guaranteed return on your money. Okay, this is not financial advice. I'm not recommending any of these companies. And these are just examples of things that I've seen out there, and I'm just showing you that. Okay, now, so this couple said to me, you know what? We've gone from swapping our time for money to spending our days looking for investments that pay me an income and doing what we truly love most in this life, which for them is going on holiday. Okay. The funny thing is, the more we look, the more we realize we're focusing on the wrong thing, trying to day trade our way to financial freedom. It takes 0 time per month for us to now make 10,000 per month. It used to take 50 hours per week to do it when day trading, and most of the time we lost money trying to do it. NB and RB of Canada. Okay. You need to learn how to find, and that's easily done. Change your psychology first, then learn how to manage the money. Seek out those kind of things. Brilliant things happen for you. Now, here's what the rich do. They then teach them, i.e. their children, how to be consistent in their trading. For you, as a trader, I'll say it in this way. Trading and a slot machine, the difference is, in one, you put the money in first and then you wait for the pattern to come up. In trading, you see the pattern and then you put your money in, right? Separate the pattern from predictability, which is why I'm saying go and play the money game. So when you come to this part, it's so easy for you to get it straight away. Because in the coin game, the heads is your pattern and you're ingraining yourself something. So the problem is people think this is my pattern, I should make money. Do the coin game, you realize my pattern doesn't mean I'm going to make money. I just know I'm going to make money over a series of trades. Richard Dennis turned $400. The guy who set up the Turtles turned $400 into 2 to 300 million. His system only made money 30% of the time. Being right is not what you're trying to do. You're trying to make money over a consistency over a period of time. You need to think about probabilities. Understand your technical analysis is not designed to tell you what's going to happen next. It's designed to say, here's your heads. This one's your heads. You don't care if it's a tail or a foot or a hand or a glove or do you know what I mean? You're just waiting for heads. And every time it's heads, you go, the odds are now in my favor. Anything else it's not. The market's going up, but I'm not in it. Who cares? It's not heads. The odds are not in your favor. You create one signal, you take the same thing consistently, get yourself to identify that one thing, and you take only that. Because it's saying if you do only that, you will make money. If you're going, oh, but I missed out on the loss in that one, I'm getting angry at the market, I'm going to take vengeance on the market, I can't believe it did that, I can't believe it took my money. You're not thinking in 20, and you're not thinking about just your thing. When you take just your trade, you stack the odds in your favor and you become a consistently profitable trader. Does that make sense? Which is why you need to think about trading in blocks of 20. And you measure these kind of things. You say, do you know what? Over 20 trades, I just made 50,000, blah, blah, blah. I made this much, I lost this much. I made 2.97 times more than I lost. My average win is this, my average lose is that. You're thinking like, you want to think like a pro? Think like that. You want to think like an amateur? You want to be inconsistently profitable? You want to have a crazy boom and buster? Be inconsistently profitable? Then think about the trade winning. Right? That is one of the key differences, which is why this person says focusing on each trade outcome was the most frustrating thing in the world for me. I wanted to be right on each trade. The more I focused on this, the more it caused me to do the wrong thing. Just the shift from the current trade to 20 trade blocks was one of the most powerful things I've ever done to transform my results. FFW in Australia. Okay, so 5, finally, they teach them a system to make money. Now, understand, throughout history, the market's biggest winners have adhered to the weekly technical pattern more so than the daily and any intraday pattern. Okay, for this reason, institutional investors, apart from HFTs, tend to base their buy and sell decisions entirely on weekly and sometimes monthly patterns. Understand, Jesse Stein, who wrote this, used this information and turned 46,000 into 6.8 million in only 28 months. Imagine now you've got 46,000 in the account. I don't know, some of you got more, some of you got less, but do this proportionately. And then made 6.8 million in 28 months. Now you're trading on weekly charts. Do you know how many trades he did a year? 8. But somehow people are thinking frequency equals more money. No, it doesn't. It does for HFTs, but not for you. Look, understand this. Nicholas Darvas made 2.5 million in 18 months. Adjusted to inflation, there was 20 million. Jesse Stein did the 6.8 just in that period there. Jesse Livermore made, adjusted to inflation, 129 billion trading the longer term trend. Understand? You want to focus on building wealth. Why? Because you create the money to buy assets to give you an income, and that's how you become financially free. Does that make sense? Stop swapping your time for income and have your money make you an income. Yeah, go to work. If you've got a job, do that. Focus on capturing the biggest trends in the market to give you wealth, and then buy assets. If you're retired and you love your day trading, great, do it, right? But I'm telling you this right now. If you focus also majority of your time on capturing these bigger trends, you'll be ahead 10 times faster. You capture the big trend and you go and buy assets. Look, you need to understand this. Day trading is the hardest. Please don't understand, I am not some crusade to go, nobody day trade, it's a bad thing, it's evil. I used to love day trading, do you understand? I've just become a bit wiser about my time and what's most important and my values and stuff like that, right? I love learning, I love teaching, I love trading, I love investing. I've got to fit everything around that. I don't have time to be doing day trading anymore. So here's the thing. Day trading is the hardest type of trading to master, as this is where all the professionals and the HFTs focus. Thus, you are trying to trade for a living by trading against the best of the best of the best of the best in the world. Now, does that sound smart to you or stupid? Play the game where you have the best chance to win. The two best opportunities for you to win is a swing trade and a longer term trend trade, looking at monthly and weekly charts. Thus, you don't need hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stocks to do this. You only need to get 10 to 25 swing trades per year to have a phenomenal, amazing year. The trick is to get 2 to 3 times your risk on each trade and compound it, right? And the key is to learn money management to achieve your objectives in trading. For example, look at this. This was just one stock. Now imagine you had 20 or 30 stocks that you looked at. So take the swing, take the swing, take the swing, take the swing. Big swing, nice swing there, nice swing there, nice swing off this 20. Big massive swing there, big massive swing there. Does this make sense? And if you use options, you're going to get phenomenal returns. The secret to having a great trend trading year. Based on the weekly chart, you're looking for 7 to 12 great trends per year across several markets. So you want to just get 7 to 12 of those in a year. That's what makes you a massive winner. Then what you do is you add to them, and then you make monster winners, okay? You got that? So the key to it is getting at the early stages of a stage 2 and the early stages of a stage 4. So when this market eventually finally goes on its way down, that's going to be an opportunity for you to go short when it turns stages, that is. And you know how to do that. I've said that to many of you. You get the early part of the stage 4 and you get the trend. Until that, unless you haven't got that trend, then do the swing trades. Does that make sense? That's what you do. You take that money, which is why this person said to me, I think you're here as well. Are you? I think I saw your name. I made a small SPY trade, made some money on it, and you asked me how. Now, what if you had staked as much as you normally do on your credit spreads? How much would you have made? You made me calculate it. It was something around $7,000 profit. That was the turning point in my mindset for income trading with spreads to building massive wealth. Earlier this week, I turned $600 into $2,000 with some SPY puts. I took $1,800 of the 2K and turned it into $3,800 by the close. That's $600 into $3,800 in 4 days. CA in Chicago. Right. So listen. Let me sum this up for you, right? How to win the game in 5 simple steps. 1, you need to join an inspired group that will teach you the millionaire's mindset to building wealth and financial trading and investing. That's your first step. Seek out one of those groups. Step 2, you need to asset allocate your money into different buckets. You need safe investments, you need income generating longer term investments, and you need capital gains investments. 3, create specific goals of which income generating assets you wish to buy and how much you need to have the lifestyle that you desire. Step 4, master the thinking process of trading and investing in blocks of 20. Step 5, trade a long-term swing and trend following system to generate wealth to buy income generating assets. Those are the 5 steps so that you're doing this in the same way the 1% of financially successful people are doing it. Hi, it's Patrick Stockhausen here. Did you enjoy this episode? Good. Because if you did, there's 2 things that you can do right now to continue your journey. The first thing is, you can subscribe right here, right now, to my channel on YouTube, and I'll keep sending you on a regular basis, on a weekly basis in fact, information, powerful information to transform your trading behaviors and transform your wealth and trading mindset. Plus, you will get specific things that you can do to become a consistently profitable trader. And all you have to do is press subscribe right here on this YouTube channel to get that information sent to you every single week. The second thing that you can do this right now is you can go to takingstock.biz, sign up for any of the priceless free trainings. When you subscribe, you're going to get literally hours of priceless free trainings, updates on my latest findings, what will empower you to create the results that you desire, and everything else that we do not do on this channel. If you'd like to do that, just go to takingstock.biz, B-I-Z, do that now. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Till then, empower your mind, empower your financial life so that you can live your version of an inspired life. Take care for now. Bye-bye.